Picture this. Alberta, 1947. It's the dead of winter, February 13th, and a ragtag crew of drillers are freezing their fingers off south of Edmonton, near a little farming community called Leduc. The mood? Grim. They've been drilling dry holes for decades, 150 of them since 1902, and the joke around Alberta was that if you wanted to make money in oil, you should invest in the companies selling shovels, not drilling rigs. Alberta was cattle, wheat, and dust, not Texas. But then, out at Imperial Oil's Leduc No. 1, the ground shook, the drill bit broke through, and suddenly a fountain of crude shot into the air. Black gold, oil. The strike wasn't just good, it was colossal. Alberta went from agricultural backwater to petro province overnight. This was the one that cracked open the West. This was the birth of Alberta Oil Country. From that cold February morning, Alberta was never the same. Oil rigs rose across the prairies like a forest of steel as geologists rushed to map the new treasure hidden below. Within a year, the massive Redwater field was discovered north of Edmonton, dwarfing even Leduc. Then came Pembina in 1953, Swan Hills in the late 50s, each strike bigger, deeper, and richer. Alberta wasn't just in the oil business, Alberta was the oil business. All that crude needed to go somewhere, so Canada built the veins and arteries of a new energy economy. The interprovincial pipeline carried oil eastward to Ontario. The Trans Mountain Line ran west, threading through the Rockies to Vancouver. And new links stretched south into the United States, plugging Alberta's wells into the beating heart of North America. With the gushers came the boom towns. Edmonton ballooned almost overnight into a true northern capital. Calgary sprouted glass towers. Money poured into schools, hospitals, roads, and a level of prosperity the rest of the country noticed. For the first time, Alberta stopped being Canada's forgotten prairie province and started being its energy powerhouse. And then there were the oil sands. People had known about the sticky, terry goo in northern Alberta for centuries. Indigenous peoples used it to waterproof their canoes, but no one thought it could ever be refined into fuel on a commercial scale. In 1967, Great Canadian Oil Sands, later Suncor, opened the first commercial oil sands mine at Fort McMurray. It was risky, expensive, and controversial. At first, people scoffed, but slowly, those sands became the single largest proven petroleum reserve in the world outside the Middle East. Of course, oil is a boom and bust game. The 70s were golden years. OPEC squeezed the world, oil prices spiked, and Alberta raked in the cash. The province swaggered through the decade, flush with money. But the crash of the 1980s was brutal. Prices collapsed, rigs shut down, Calgary's skyline went dark, and Alberta learned the hard way that oil wealth can vanish as quickly as it arrives. The National Energy Program, launched by Pierre Trudeau's government in 1980, was meant to make Canada energy independent and keep oil prices stable during a global crisis. It gave Ottawa more control over oil production, pushed for Canadian ownership, and redirected oil revenues from Alberta to the rest of the country. But in the West, especially in Alberta, it was seen as a federal money grab that crippled the oil industry and deepened resentment toward Ottawa. The NEP became a symbol of Western alienation and one of the most divisive policies in Canadian history. Still, the oil never left the ground. And when global demand roared back in the 2000s, Alberta's oil sands ignited a new boom. Fort McMurray exploded into a modern-day gold rush town, jammed with workers from across Canada. Alberta once again became the engine of Canada's economy, but with riches came fights. Pipelines turned into battlegrounds. Keystone XL, Northern Gateway, Trans Mountain. Climate change turned oil sands into a global lightning rod. Politicians in Ottawa and Alberta clashed, environmentalists dug in, and the old dream of boundless prosperity became complicated by carbon counts and global markets. And yet, through it all, Alberta oil kept flowing. From Leduc's gusher in 1947 to the oil sands super projects of today, petroleum has shaped not just Alberta's identity, but Canada's place in the world. It built cities, bankrolled dreams, and fueled decades of growth. It also left scars, divisions, and a future still uncertain. Today, Leduc No. 1 is quiet. The derrick stands preserved as a museum, a monument to that single strike that changed everything. Because when that black fountain shot into the cold prairie sky, Alberta's fate was sealed. This was the birth of oil country. Please like and subscribe for more videos about Canada.